What to a color is gender, or this is how you make space out of the rainbow. I threw 7 darts at a color wheel and I called the combination a gender. Named the gender Jordyn. Called Jordyn an experience, but everybody just said that I was blue. Said I was born blue, and that's all I ever will be. And I said, no, didn't you hear me? I'm Jordyn. And then some man, all redneck and shotgun for hands, said I must either be pink or blue, but I am neither. Not even something in between, because that lavender middle ground never quite satisfied me. Besides, everyone always said I was a little bit more periwinkle, a little bit more wisteria, a little bit more pale purple, a little bit more like everyone except myself. So I left and found a space for all of me somewhere over the rainbow and amongst the stars. So now, when someone asks me about my gender, all white guilt and blue wave liberal, I point up at a nebula in the sky and say, my gender is the birth of that galaxy. My color is the experience of watching the universe continue to blossom, and isn't it beautiful and sad? How you will never understand all of us colors who found space and sanctity amongst the stars when the rainbow left bits and pieces of us behind. So now, when someone asks me about my color, I say, how kind is the universe that we who blossom amongst the night sky like galaxies will never understand colors or genders the way that you do. What a blessing that is.
They said there would be money. They said you were sitting on Martha's Vineyard, Trump Tower, and the Skywalker Ranch all rolled into one. They said you'd jaw on $100 bills and spit golden nuggets. They said, wouldn't you buy a ticket if you were guaranteed to win the lottery? They said your subdivision was the Middle East of the Midwest, and that you could be the chic of shale. They said your heating bill would be free for the rest of your life. They said this would save the rotting rust belt grease the joints of this frozen industrial machine. They said this is about helping struggling families through the recession. They said this is your responsibility as an American. They said God blessed you with this half-acre lot, and to not sign is to wag your blasphemous middle finger at the Lord and Savior. They said you don't want America dependent on those Saudi terrorists, do you? They said we've used this technology since 1947, but nobody's complained about it till now. They said those fractivists don't really care about your water. They're just a bunch of manatee-hugging socialists trying to overturn the American way of life. They said your 401k hasn't been doing well. They said you still have 2 kids in college. They said your wife just got laid off. They said that old minivan in your driveway is what, a 98? They said this is the best deal you're going to get. They said all your neighbors already signed. They said you were the last holdout keeping everyone else from getting rich. They said they'd take it even if you didn't sign and give you nothing. They said there might just be a little dust and noise. They said it was safe. They said natural gas was clean energy. They said they'd done hundreds of studies. They said the processed water waste pits were EPA approved. They said the fish in the stream could have died from anything. They said methane was naturally occurring and could have come from anywhere. They said the wells couldn't be inspected thousands of feet underground. They said nobody's perfect. They said the radon was already in your house. They said you had the flu when you and your daughter couldn't stop vomiting for 2 months. They said contamination was impossible. They said your well water was perfectly safe. They said no thank you when you offered them a glass of your well water. They said it was nothing when the cat and dog started losing their hair and half the cattle died. They said it was nothing when they evacuated your family at 4 a.m. with fumes clawing at your eyes and throat. They said it was nothing when the neurologist and oncologist bills. They said nothing when you showed them your brown jar of money, when the sinks and faucets were stuffed with dollar bills and you asked what you were supposed to drink. Now they said nothing. They said name your price. Everyone has a price. They said they'd exchange a blank check for the bloody stump of your tongue. They said you'd better get a lawyer. They said you didn't read the fine print. They said everything was legal. They said everything was permitted. They said natural gas was clean. So why Are your hands so dirty?
To grow up a black boy in America is to exist while others believe that your blood will make the grass grow, as if you was made out of magic. It's to live with an identity crisis even when you grow up to become a man that will look at you and think, boy, shoot you without thinking if you're in your local park and you're holding the wrong toys. Told you're not a real American by white people because you're from Africa. Told you can't call yourself an African American by people from Africa because you've never been to the continent at all. You just this bastard American pop black. This, you got to give your DNA to the government to figure out where they stole you from black. This, you are anger. This, you are rage. Why you always gotta act so black? Why you gotta be so othered? The other name turned into a hashtag before a college graduate. Black boys don't believe what they tell you, like you're not supposed to feel or cry or feel any other emotion besides pride in evoking a clutched purse. But this is nothing special, nor an accomplishment. Because if a black boy graduates from college and the police happens to kill him, that will search his Instagram for the most niggly image of his likeness. Because he was never anything special. He never had any accomplishments. After all, he's black in America. But to grow up a black boy from New Orleans, Louisiana, is another first thing they think of when they see you. It's a ticking time bomb, an inmate number waiting to be processed, a cadaver that has somehow escaped his body bag. Black boys in the South don't feel no pain. Black boys down here don't break. But what no one understands is that black boys break. If we break often, when father abandoned position, we break. We're caught in nigger by a group of whites who you thought were your friends, your teammates, your co-workers, you break. When police officers profile, you break. When black people profile, you break. To be a black boy at this moment in time is to have all your bones broken and still be expected to stand.
The first words my daughter ever learned was, "Daddy, no." At 13 months, she watched as I fell into the precipice of a Greek tragedy. I, Persephone, her father, Hades. By the time she was 5, she had learned to scream no louder than a whisper and repeat the clever lies I taught her to believe, that black girls and black eyes were synonyms. She had learned to tuck her tears into places her father could not find, what scars and what scarves accessorized best the morning after Armageddon. Safety plans became like fire drills. That's why she would hide in the back of her first grade classroom every time she would have one. Better to burn than face the devil. When she was 7, I overheard her praying, telling God that she hoped she'd never grow up to be like me, that she wasn't sure if her father would kill me or my depression. Either way, she knew what dress I would wear and how to comb my hair when they buried me. I left her father that same year and cut that tree down we used to hide under every time that monster would come out from under her bed. Next year will mark that 10th year since I left her father. And her sister, who's only 5, can't understand why we go back to that same tree stump every year to count the rings. But you see, I know my baby is still afraid of fire drills. And I have yet to throw away my scarves. It is said that 1 in 3 women will experience violence in their lifetime. I have 2 daughters, both who have inherited my eyes.
I sometimes wonder why. I've been told I shouldn't cry. My whole life, this alpha male mentality has surrounded me and it's kept my pupils dry. I mean, I didn't even watch some of my people die. And I've battled with my conscience. And I've had internal arguments if any water would hit my eyes. And yeah, I still hurt inside, but you know pride. It'll make you lie. I can remember hearing the wails of my own hurting mother. But my own tears I could never discover. I guess you could say bounty sheets have been slipped under my eye sockets and kept them covered, because if any water leaks out, my pride be there like the quicker, picker, upper, and I recover by standing tall. I'll be flexing and all. You know, I can't let my stature fall, so water just gotta bounce off this wall. I don't watch brothers get buried, and I know kings to this day who wouldn't even tear up. Like God didn't give them tear ducts. Like he somehow slipped up when he constructed us. This crushed us. Broken us, malfunctioning us. I done heard conversations be like, hey, King, slow up. Let me help you to grow up. So what? You say you hurting? So you crying? For what purpose? You got water, work's working, it's better. If they never surface, keep the pain to yourself. Ain't you a man? Can't you stand? Be strong for your fam? Then you better hold the water back. Like, damn. But I can only be as strong as I am. Prince, are you strong? I am. Then you better not cry, brother. I know it hurts, but a real man's got to remember his worth. But that makes it worse, because now I find myself questioning their words like, but didn't God water the earth to make its fruits grow, allowing first sprouts to show? Or no? My brothers stay tough. Meanwhile, they getting hit with the hardest hits. Do you want to know why that man looks so hard? Because that's a face he ain't watered yet. He'll let his skin crack before he lets the water in. But what have you ever seen grow without consistent water in? I'm imploring my brothers to start exploring the purpose of your eyes. They're not just for seeing, or for blinking, or for closing when you're sleeping. My brothers will swear on a stack of Bibles they love Jesus, but they won't imitate his weeping. You see, it's like they think God is a weakling, and your manhood will be weakened if you cried on one weekend. But what are you really thinking? That there's no healing power in tears? That a real man can't reveal what he feels when that pain comes near? That you're somehow stronger for prolonging your moment of expression? You don't see being able to cry as a blessing? Have you ever heard a father threaten his son for crying when he's hurt? Yelling and telling his son that if he cries, he'll hit him. So now his son's got to grow up being a victim for having feelings. But imagine a world where our young kings could actually reveal what they're feeling. And when he sees the tears you're spilling, you could help heal him. Have him no longer believe in having feelings would kill him, because that thinking is so absent of God, who you telling him to be ain't even the real him. We have to stop teaching our sons that tears are venom, because that thinking even impacts the way they treat women. And yet we all talk about healing. Well, healing can only begin once you acknowledge your hurt feeling. Once you release all the toxins and let go of all that nonsense that's been fed to your subconscious, because it's only created enmity. Your fake manhood has become your enemy. You're just pretending, B. I guess that's why they call it masculinity. It's time for a change, not more of the same. Our kings need to heal, and the crown will fit better when you're sane. And although it sounds insane to use tears as a way to release your pain, we have to remember that God's promise of that beautiful bow will only show after it rains. Go ahead and cry, King.
In the biblical book of Exodus, there is a man named Abraham instructed by God to sacrifice his only son, Isaac. He takes him to the mountaintop, binds him to the rock, reveals the death instrument to drain his body, braces for the incision, and then a ram appears in the bush. An angel appears also and says to him, "Now I know that you fear God, but you shall kill the ram instead." The ram becomes the burnt offering. The boy becomes a boy again. Growing up, I was always taught to mimic Abraham, to be willing to let go of anything in the name of holiness, to learn that blood may be thicker than holy water, but faith will always be thicker than blood. But what of the child? What of his trauma? How he almost lost himself at the hands of his own father, went home that night cloaked in near death and silence. To be a pastor's kid is to lie bound in the sun with no ram waiting in the bush, to leave your own identity at the altar and return home to a refuge of longing, to carpets all lifted from the secret stuffed beneath them. The word home is a forgotten holy book, and I am stuck between its pages, the kind of comfort that will crucify you and keep you warm at the same time. To be a pastor's kid is to always be the burnt offering, trade quality time for teaching, trade friendships for faith, trade a coming out story for an entire year in silence, lose yourself at the hands of your own father. The bishop says, "Dear God, hide me behind the cross," and nobody hears. My family is already there. He tells the church to say amen, and his own children shake in silence. The bishop preaches love from the altar, and a rainbow commands the back pew, waiting to become a daughter again. We learn from scripture that God sent his only son down to suffer, that a child without a father is lost, but a father with a sacrificed child is still a God, which simply means a father will always be worshipped, even when his children are the ones doing all the magic, even when his children go under the knife for the sake of the calling, even when their sacrifice isn't as glorious as the crucifixion. When Isaac was at that mountaintop, he did not try to escape, not because he was okay with dying, but because no one would have noticed him anyway. Wow. And this is the concept of sacrifice. A loneliness written in stone, a father blinded by his own faith, the ministry playing the part of the blade, and children still waiting on a ram to save them.
Wow.
Yeah,
Woo!
Natasha.
Woo!
My heart cries out for two names, and one of them is a lie. The other one was you, the great love of my life. I have done all I can to see joy in your eyes, but there are just things I knew I could never give. That's where he came in, your prince in the pale blue light. He gave you a home and love and the children you hold dear. I could never be that man, so I had to let you go. 15 years is a long time to bury a heart's wish. The temptation I try so hard to deny myself. If I once for a second believed I could give you the life you deserve. I lived my life as a drifter, a wandering bohemian. My life has been uprooted far too many times to stay in one place. I once believed the roots were the one thing I could never have. But roots just can't grow without some sense of permanence. Now that I've finally found my home, you creep back into my mind to once again remind me of what I've always known. No one ever stays still, not in the world I've lived. You're just one of a million faces I've seen. I still hold a candle for you, hoping that my love for you will override my desire to be your wife, knowing you have exactly what you wished for all your life, something I just can't be.
When people ask me about what I learned from you, I used to say nothing. I don't blame you for anything anymore. I used to feel confused. Physically, you couldn't square up and show me a defensive stance. Born handicapped, a miracle. Survivor of a stroke at age 2. I never took how beautiful that was away from you, but at times I needed to fight. I hated I learned loss and pain that's left first before ever learning to swing right. Cops showed me how to duck white folks. Some made me understand how beautiful my skin is by hating it. Weapons drawn against my people showed me how to write and ask others to understand that healing comes from within. And it's gonna be a bumpy ride, so hold on to the most upright anchor, each other. I learned how to be encouraging to myself when no calls came in time to help me battle grief. How lonely I thought I was, even though I know people did care. I hated. I pushed myself on one leg to learn to ride a bike, but running away was easy. I was fast, feet steady, always ready to not be responsible. Yes, I've learned some lessons about myself. See, I'm not the same Kyla I was anymore. Jesus or Yahweh or whatever you want to call him told me not to be afraid or ashamed. And for years I wouldn't incorporate him in my poems as if scripture ain't a part of my blood. As if being baptized wasn't one of the greatest moments in my life, because it was. I mean, I've had to learn to appreciate. No bike ride or boxing lesson could ever show me that. Yet I watched you every morning at 5 a.m., button left, tied shoes. I helped briefcase filled resumes, Benson and Hedges menthol 100s, lighters, and matches. You were always prepared. Pocket change, pocket knife, Bible, finest cologne. No matter the weather, you worked various jobs, mostly teaching. Provided, physically challenged, and I couldn't imagine ever having to walk in your shoes. And I remember correctly, I never heard you pity yourself in that. It took me all these years to understand. Parents battle things too, and they are not superhuman. They just do the best they can and make the same mistakes that we forgive others faster for daily. So when people ask me what I learned from you, I don't say nothing. I tell them that I learned to love myself.
We learned your French. We learned your English, your Spanish, your Dutch, your Portuguese, your German. You learned our nothing. You called us stupid. That's white privilege. And I'm sure it probably hurts for you to hear those two words, kind of like gunshots and explosions from those commissioned to protect you, whisking past your ears. What is white privilege? It is the only 5 decades of legal acknowledgement expected to correct 400 years of white transgression. It is crack versus cocaine. Blacks receiving almost 20% longer sentences for the same exact offenses, or like, for instance, a black man without a record is less likely to get a job than a white felon. Well, maybe it's because we're lazy and we don't work hard enough. Like, what the fuck? 400 years in the same field literally is an incredible resume builder. It is Katrina answering the government's prayers of eugenics, Dick Cheney going fishing the next day, Condoleezza on a shopping spree, Bush in San Diego. But Kanye is the one you call crazy because, like, it only took the USA 2 days to get aid to Asia, but 5 for FEMA to get to Canal Street and Esplanade. It is the one black kid who beat the shit out of the odds, but only thanks to Sandra Bullock, Michelle Pfeiffer, and the White Shadow, so now we all can make it. It is the only time thousands of white people are cheering for the black kid to win is in a stadium. It is you looking at me crazy if I told you to go back to Europe even though we didn't have a say and your great-grandparents came here voluntarily. It is you all of a sudden having a problem with immigration, like this isn't even your nation. How the hell do you discover some shit that wasn't even missing to begin with? You've Columbused our traditions. Had white girls twerking in high definition with multicolored hair and purple nails, but it was ghetto when we did it. Or am I making you uncomfortable? Try a cramped slave ship. Oh wait, slavery is over now. It's just called the prison system, because, like, you're not racist because you don't use the N-word, but y'all use niggas every day. What is white privilege? It is the acceptance of bombs over Baghdad, but not over Boston. It is European history being taught as a major and African as an elective. It is learning about my people only 28 days. Like, I'm not black every fucking second. It is every white boy who want to fuck my brains out, not because I'm pretty, but because I'm pretty for a black girl. Is people thinking that Africa is one nation. It is the waving of the Confederate flag like you didn't lose the battle and then telling us to get over slavery. It's people saying that black people destroyed neighborhoods but forgetting that white people have destroyed continents. It is every time I bring up my plight, some white man has to tell me that I'm crazy but is kind enough to praise my English or say that we are all given the same opportunities, even though he has a family history of wealth and I don't even know my family history at all. It is the justification of police brutality. Like, what did that person do? Well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt as much when the victim doesn't look like you. It's people thinking that affirmative action is an unfair advantage instead of keeping the qualified from being unfairly disadvantaged, or throwing out a qualified applicant because their name sounded too African American. It is Newports imported into black communities, but black boys exported for weed. It is big plastic asses that are called fat when we naturally have them. It is an Australian woman whose new classic of rap music is everyone who hears this poem dismisses all this truth I just spit as reverse racism. That is white privilege.
But most of all, get used to the dust while you renovate. A poem to my 17-year-old self. Archaeology is a rich man's game, but you seem to know your way around a shovel. Keep it that way. The world is not going to stop trying to bury you. Bend at your knees and not your back while you dig yourself out from yourself. Get real damn good at identifying remains. Do it again and again. Remember that bump in your shin, just above your tibia from where your cousin shot you with his BB gun. This will help keep the imposters at bay. Be more curious about where the sea hits the shore. Ignore the stars, they're liars. There's no poetry there. They're probably already dead. Listen instead to the moon when she sings Hallelujah. Leonard Cohen stole it from her, but nobody seems to mind.
Hi, I'm Natasha Nicole, and this is For Real Poetry. In the distance, I see daisies blowing in swift winds, tall trees that stand triumph, showing rings, revealing ancestors' dreams. A sweet message it sends, telling of when time began, offering old and alike new finds. Shade for the children that sit beneath its branches laughing while singing nursery rhymes. It speaks of a time when life was really good, not because of monetary riches, because monetary riches there were not. But riches, nevertheless, came in abundance, disguised in hot food, shared from love-filled Dutch pots, clean clothes that were thoroughly cleaned, no cheers, no Tide, no washing machine, just the time in history when used shoes felt fine and ripe mangoes and sugar water were the equivalent to aged wine. Special are the memories to how we played. No Toys R Us for us, because the best toys were all handmade. In the distance, I can hear Daddy laughing, yelling, slamming bones. So safe and secure in the mummy's apron, the last thing I pondered was being grown. Life was serene and sweet, sitting on a porch by a basin tub, rubbing the soles of Mama's feet as my sister brushed her hair. I look back onto yesterday and sometimes wish that I was still there where we climbed trees and swam far across the lake, and trips to the next town was always like, wow, a good life does simple things create. In the distance, I see pasture and meadow. They go on for days, and I'm taken aback by the beauties that they hold, and I'm always amazed at how when I used to look out into the distance, I simply couldn't have asked for more. Funny though, how any onlooker would have swore that we were poor. I sit reminiscent of a fondness that I find when I look into the distance of time. I'm Latasha Nicole once again, and this is For Real Poetry.
They often wonder aloud, can't we go back to the good old days when protesters were like Martin Luther King Jr., peaceful?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
We answer, have you forgotten he was murdered as well?
What so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming.
Hoses, dogs, batons beat faces and heads, causing blood to spill.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Jail cells moaned for relief as they were filled past capacity with black men in three-piece suits.
O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
Bridges blocked on a bloody Sunday.
And the rockets reckless, the
church, firebombed, flames dispatching 4 innocent little black girls off to see heaven's gates.
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still
Volunteer
there.
voter registrars shot in their car as peaceful protesters were found dead on the side of a dimly lit road.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Young black men sent to fight and die in war, yet here sharing lunch counters with whites was against the law.
O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Were those really the good old days?
This morning, Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my front door and I found myself naked, bent over, douching. Now, if you don't know what douching is, pause this video right now and Google it. Welcome back. 3 knocks on my front door, one for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I ran to the entry of my home. I stuffed my eye through a peephole and I tasted their shame for me as they walked away. Paper is tucked like bedtime next to my apartment number. But today is San Antonio's Pride Festival, so the next time that I leave my apartment, I will have a rainbow wrapped around my neck and intentions to come back with a friend or 2 or 3, like Daddy, Twink, and one holy fuck, and I wonder if the promises God made to Noah would speak to them. I wonder if they wouldn't watch from an ark as flood waters ended in my lifestyle. I wonder if the words smeared across my front door like lamb's blood could be understood by an abomination like me, because aren't these the same people scowling me at church? Aren't they covered mouths? And aren't I at the tip top of their eyebrow raises? The ones that love me but don't accept me. The ones praying for this dance with the devil to end, this phase, this gay demon inside of me, this me. Proceeds to get ready for a parade of love. A fiesta of all colors and smiles, our good and bad intentions stitched together like the beads thrown from our party floats. Yo, I planned this outfit out like an evangelical route. I spread mascara on like angel wings and I flew to heaven on blue dreams. And I wonder if the promises God made to humankind apply to every kind of human. Because I know that God could taste the heartbeat of my community, sees how bright our rainbows glow, and I know that the universe is tucked like bedtime next to our smiles. There is a reason I have stood in prayer at every single one of my gay friends' funerals. And aren't we alive now, too? Aren't we sitting at the back of your pews trying to belong? Aren't we standing at the entryway of your hearts knocking 3 times? Aren't we parents? Aren't we children? Aren't we holy once we're your ghosts too?
I am Valentine Ventura, and this poem is titled Hang in There. You know that one motivational poster? It features a cat clinging to a branch captioned, Hang in there. That poster always made me sad.
Not because I felt bad for the cat, I know it was photoshopped, but because it reeks of capitalism. Always hung up in the little gray cubicle of the working class, in the break rooms that only call attention to the breaking backs of factory workers. People see themselves in that cat, looking for hope in a hopeless situation, trying their best to hold on to that tree, reaching out for any scraps the higher-ups may discard. The birds at the top will complain about not being able to soar high enough, beaks stuffed greedily with all the food they can eat, talking amongst themselves, planning on how to make the working-class cats build them an elevator to the clouds, ignoring the fact that some of us weren't even born with wings. Sure, maybe a cat will make it to the top by clawing, scratching, and crying, while others can simply fly.
Ode to my ripped pants. The third ones in a year. Clean down the crotch and a patch of my boxers beat a moon I didn't want to gaze at. Come, child, and let me tell you the story about my precision. How when it ripped, you could have sworn I soared from the free throw line. Jumped over a splintered fence. Spread eagled atop a Jeep Wrangler. It was something like a movie, though. The Three Stooges, Charlie Chaplin, a silent skit. Because you only heard the tear and a muted scream before cueing the laughter ode to my laughter. A rare and mellow trumpet. The right side of my cheek a cloud, so when it moved, it let out all this sun. And I don't need permission to deem this moment celebratory. To think my body so industrial, it outlasts everything around me, no skin lost, no debris feathering to the ground. I am here, growing. And the tear of my seams remind me of how alive I wish to continue being, ode to my being, to my elastic flesh, to my stretch marks acting a fool. Grooves of malt liquor skin looking like a galaxy made of soil. I have blemished this body to perfection. And I think about the time it takes to scar the skin so good it refuses to heal, ode to my healing. I mean, the last time I took my pants to a seamstress, and how she said there is nothing that she can do. That I should either give up entirely or consider a more certified professional, and how I accept neither. Besides, what was she trying to say, huh? Was she trying to say that I needed therapy? Nah, she wasn't trying to say that. She wasn't trying to say that. But I imagine me and a therapist, one that I should have booked about a year ago, sitting in an IKEA-decorated office saying absolutely nothing to each other. But she looks me dead between my eyes and slowly nods her head and says, I feel you, girl. So ode to my free therapy. As Stevie Wonder hotter than July, track 3. Ode to my free therapy as my father's rusted waffle iron never washed. Ode to my free therapy as an empty Bill Cartwright gymnasium, as a pineapple and strawberry smoothie, as a marathon of all 4 house party movies. Ode to my ripped pants. The third ones in the year, yo, I forget how heavy I am sometimes. Might as well be blues. Might as well be anvil dropping from the sky. Come, child, and let me tell you the story about a black woman who wears fedoras, jogger pants, and beaded necklaces. Let me tell you the story about a queer woman who skipped her high school prom for a basketball game. Let me tell you the story about a butch woman who ain't done naming herself yet. Yo, she erupted the seams, son. She got a mouth made of shaved knuckles, son. She washed all this respectability down with Sunny D, son. I forget how heavy I am sometimes. I forget how taxing it'd be to wait for another to lift me. And I bought a women's suit once. It was charcoal and lifeless. I bought it for an interview, a job I didn't get, and I kept it in my closet for 7 years, just in case. And that is all to say that I tried being obedient once. And I like being a poet a little bit more. I ripped my pants. I will buy another. Nothing died. In fact, there is glory somewhere here, black girl. This pride in refusing to be smaller for this world. Like, remember in middle school when one of your micro braids fell into the sidewalk? And people wanted so badly for you to be ashamed just because you left a piece of yourself right there for everyone to see.
Listen to the distant sea. 1. The family vacation over, walking the beach for shells while watching the Donax bubbles, now a fond but distant memory. He holds the bleached shell from the gift shop close against his patient ear, eyes shut to help him fully focus. It's true. You can hear the ocean, or at least recognize its cousin, in the waves of blood flowing like an ancient eternal tide. 2. Lie on the lakeshore. Watch the high clouds go on their way. The changing breeze will bring small waves to their breaking, and you travel on the sea sound, back to Phubai, Da Nang, Nha Trang, Marble Mountain. They are willing and always waiting. 3. If you want to feel small, to understand your place within the universe, place yourself far from land on the darkest of nights. Listen from the fantail as the screw fights the sea. Hear the oceans breaking on the bow, far below the black, silent flight deck. In the hours after dawn, see white water rolling off that very same deck as the typhoon's teeth bite. Your ship becomes nothing, and you become even less.
February has told fibs that make me question my definition of fiction. Heart is afflicted with memories of passion that didn't surpass the 14th day. Give or take. Give or take. See, the answer is both for me. Reciprocity is a foundational element of my periodic table, yet no one lectured me despite our chemistry. Our bond could be compromised by your electrons. I'll be honest, I never cared for science. But as the math equates, if I'm 1, the reason your body quivers, 2, the reason your cheekbones ache, 3, the reason you're distant from heartbreak, then this should be forever. I guess you could say I'm more privy to absolutes. Yet I've been stuck in this time capsule with prospects who go Casper because they're too fearful of cutting off their own cancers. Tragic. I'm talking even on a leap year, an extra day to deliberate. How it still end up feeling like Groundhog's Day. But eventually I get past the disappointment and the pain, enough to be able to hear Fate's message on replay. That my destiny is a phenomenon that's not intimidated by my great. It sticks around long enough to get past the glare of my too good to be true exterior. Long enough to love with the heart and the eyes, but trust with the mind too. Because I'm tired of feeling like one of us said I love yous too soon. Now don't get me wrong, the strawberries and the wine still gonna make me feel good in a moment. But you know how the saying goes, why lease it when you can own it?
April 4th, 1989. A wounded man lay bleeding in the orange grove. The jilted ex-girlfriend spun an inconsistent, improbable tale. Tangled roots of deception permeated the orange grove. The responding officer's primary suspect, uninvestigated, became the state's star witness as the shadows engulfed the orange grove. Almost an hour passed before her call to the police to a location she misidentified, delaying the arrival of help for a man still conscious who never spoke of an assailant. A second crime was cultivated in the orange grove. A black man, she claimed, holding a gun. A chill filled the air in the orange grove. The police were eager to pick the low-hanging fruit. A small-time drug dealer recently released from prison, contradicting the physical description of a man she didn't even get a real good look at. The oranges, they thought, all looked the same. Crosley Green's race was referred to 140 times during the trial. It was always darkness, they feared, in the orange grove. Without a shred of physical evidence, the all-white jury convicted. Sentenced to death, strange fruit again to hang from the trees in the orange grove. Chip Flynn died on the scene, Crosley Green to be strapped to the electric chair. 2 lives taken, 2 men left to die in the orange grove. The prosecution's 4 other witnesses, all claiming threats and coercion by the state, recanted their testimony. Justice eroded, truth left to decay in the orange grove. July 20, 2018, the verdict finally overturned, key evidence withheld by the prosecution. Still, Crosley Green sits in prison as the state appeals, trying to make sure he never again sees an orange grove. 30 years in prison, almost 20 on death row. The 31-year-old man, now 63. The fruit of youth left to rot in the orange grove.
How's it going? My name is Sergio Jimenez, and I'll be sharing a poem today that I wrote called Musical Therapy. I hope you enjoy. I'm awake, heavy in disbelief. Another 24-hour day to drag my feet. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? My alarm clock reminds me that yesterday's problems leaked into today. The wake-up call to throw my clothes on, put my wallet in my pocket, but most importantly, don't forget my earphones. This is my time, my jam, my eardrums. This is the realest I've ever been, See all my demons and strip all my skeletons. I might just kill you if you touch a relative. Usually nice, but I'm just hella sensitive. I live in this vibrating beats, my brain dancing in my skull. Music is a hug that starts from the inside, my soul tugging my eardrums. My eyes understand, and my stank face praises itself. Just getting warmed up. Yeah, I said I was coming, I warned ya. So close to the fans, I feel like they riding my tour bus. I walk to work like I'm the CEO, when I'm just another clock in, another take your order, another weekly check. Cause my mama need that bill money, and my son needs some milk. If my eardrums break, then I break with them. My family lives on my shoulders. My mother's diabetes is pretending to be okay. My brother got jumped last night. The cops knocked on the door with his name in their mouth. I had to dig in the corners of my piggy bank to feed my family, but This is my favorite song, I just don't know the words, and I still fucks with you, you just ain't never heard. Let go of the worries of rent, of cable, phone bill, heartbeat, text back, priorities, the family, credit card, student loans. Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown off this wave. When the music stops, don't forget the chorus. Sing the chorus, sing the bridge, walk the bridge. Don't jump off, jump high. Just a little 10 piece for it, just to blow it in the mall doesn't mean that we're involved, I just wait. Music is an organ, sound waves riding my blood cells. This song, this collection of sound, this gospel, this holy, this worship, I'm a loose step, a garden, a party, a fist pump, a retreat from the world, a remembrance of power, a problem solved just for a few minutes. I talk to God every day. Devils need Jesus more than someone with a halo. Procrastinated goals don't matter here. Keep dancing on the train, the shower, the walk. Take the long way, take the wrong way, take the pain away. This is my part, nobody else speak. This is my part, nobody else speak. This little light of mine. Glory be to God. Yeah, God is getting impatient. I delay my salvation like a dentist appointment, but the truth is loud and the music is louder. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of light. I tell you my sins so you can sharpen your knife. Music feels like climbing back into your mother's cooking arms. A blanket that never gets cold, a bed of hymns. It's okay to rest here, to live here for just a few minutes. It feels like I am just too close to love you. The song's almost done. The day's almost done. Tomorrow's another day. Forget how darkness sits on your body before bedtime. The lights said it's okay to just put your head down, put your earphones on, and turn the lights off. Must be love on the brain. Got me feeling this way. Thank you.
My back's against the wall. I'm left standing on sheer will and determination, surveying the faces of mine enemy, demons, fears, doubts, choices that has brought me to this moment, this space, time which is confined in the ambient hourglass of fate. The wise pupil dilate, visualize and realize the defense, attack, and escape. Linear thought, for I can move along this wall, giving me sight beyond sight, not foreshadowing my downfall. No, it wasn't scripted, graffiti, hieroglyphic, scribed upon this wall, currently reinforcing my vertebrae, convincing me to remain, scraping my flesh to rise, forcing me to counteract as if this is your last breath. Impact strikes motivation, properly positioning me not to concuss the possibilities of victory, an ally of mortar and integrity, a wall that speaks the language of purpose, constructed to fortify, protect, separate, trap, imprison, hide, house. Definition, barrier. Metaphoric, pressure, because time is measured in the breaths when our backs against the wall, whether forced or self-perpetuated. At Jericho, I was so elated. Berlin no longer partitioned. The greatness that stretches across the land of the Asian sun, the wall stands. It does not run, though it knows the imminent possibilities of erosion. Each wall is erected as each of our situations are chosen. Fight! Breathe the vapor of resiliency. Stand tall. Overcome your obstacles. when our backs against the wall.
I'm alive on purpose. I'm alive with purpose. To live with purpose. So what's your purpose? To live or just be alive? Contribute or stand on the sidelines? I know I have a purpose to be here. It seems like often it changes with the seasons. You ever think about how people enter and leave your life for a season and you're left trying to figure out the reason? But they had a purpose to be there, whether you realize it right away or later on, or if you're still trying to figure it out. Sometimes the reason is not for you to figure out. They were there, and no doubt, they made an impact, whether small or big. Maybe they were there to help you learn a lesson, or maybe they were there to help you lessen the stress and the pain of a situation that they got you through. It's rough to lose a person once they've gotten so close to you. You were never really taught how to deal with pain and how to deal with loss. Can you tell me what we are supposed to do? I think we handle things differently. There is no right or wrong answer. There is nothing set in stone. My only wish from when I'm in pain is to have a clone, so I can deal with sadness head on and not the fake happiness knowing damn well I'm still hurting. But I'm working on it. Like I said, I'm alive on purpose. I'm alive with purpose, to live with purpose. So what's your purpose? What's your focus? What have you contributed? Or are you just standing on the sidelines? Or are you being sidelined? Walking through life, no guidelines, just kind of figuring it all out. I read something the other day that said, we never really know our true self. We develop and change according to the people we interact with. We take pieces of them that mold us into who we are supposed to become. And that's how we become who we're supposed to be. We're made up of experiences and pieces of people who have influenced us, even the people who have hurt us. Interesting, right? But I'm alive on purpose, and I'm alive with purpose, to live with purpose. So what's your purpose? To live or just be alive? Contribute or just stand on the sidelines?
Cause I'm looking crazy right now.
Personally, it ain't about what you personally think. Hotep, my brother, I come in peace. I bring a piece of the source with me. Quiet whispers of our ancestors. True essence of who we are. Keeping the balance established like gods. High priest and high priestess, cause what's a god without a goddess? I dare not think less of my queens. Stand up, my brothers, it's time to be kings. We must take our place, we got a blind date with destiny. Humanity fulfilled, this is why we build. This is how we build. The pyramids of Giza, they took our spark and turned it into Jesus. Jesus, another Osirian drama. See the essence of the first child born of a virgin mother. Buried deep within us. It's something that they want. It's something that they need and they don't care to pay for it. So it's been costing us. And what a price to pay for something that's ours. They thought we were silly when we would gaze at the stars, the cosmos and beyond. We gave the world divinity, so ain't no mystery. They don't want you to know your history. They only want to give you history. But in history, you unlikely to be the favorite. Hence why they only tell you about the slave ships. But the more they dig deep into our sins, they see the Sphinx but couldn't comprehend. Intelligence over natural man. So after this, I hope you understand. I just want to go home, cause I'm a foreign land.
soft as a lion's mane and as wet as the evening rain. A cherry so sweet that even Prince knew about the raspberry beret. Let me take you through this fantasy as we make it to erotic city. Your hands touch my skin, imprinting your pleasure stain, making me shake with anticipation. You make me feel like a virgin again. Now I know how Madonna felt when she said only love can last. As your stare turns me to stone with this tension amassed, giving me the Medusa treatment. Stone wall, the devil in the details, giving me the pleasure contract. Sign the dotted line to make our souls connect. Deal broken, now let this pleasure commence. To a night of breaking barriers, turning the lights out, making me lose my fifth sense. Leaving me with your amazing scent that even Al Pacino wouldn't know what to do with. The secret that Vicky kept in her beautiful fragrance. Touching your skin like your lace slip, tasting like strawberry chocolate, that aphrodisiac bliss. On the 90s R&B tip, my bachelor's is in knocking the boots, the headboard, knocking it loose, my PhD in Kama Sutra. I got all this dissertation for you. The last of my sentences is what I hear from you, stifling your cries, keeping my neighbors from hearing you. But we're in quarantine. They have no choice but to listen to you. Learn from me what I do to you so they get schooled on what a soul connection can really do. I didn't need the bar or the ones and twos. I didn't need a line or to front for you. I got you in this bed by being real with you, clenching these sheets because I was honest with you, scratching my back because I was faithful to you, and saying my name because I committed to you. See, this is a soul connection, not a one-night session. Sex like this you don't get from a club procession, a Tinder suggestion, or a Netflix session. You get this from a soul connection.
My name is Jason Harris, and I will be reading a poem today called Bounty. If the lung is what links me to you, and you to the bull frog, and the bullfrog to the blue well, and if Earth is an interconnected system, and Arctic ice is losing its bulwark, and polar bears are suffering, and white surfaces are darkening, and all the living continue dying at the hands of others, then why act as if we've done nothing wrong? Every day the sun rises. Of this I'm sure. I've seen it. Things function as they should. Yeah, sure. Still, we aren't deserving of all this bounty. Thank you.
Black pain has always been a source of entertainment. Music to their ears, moaning and wailing to beautiful ballads of blues, dancing to the rhythm of ricocheting bullets at our feet, string us up, then clap on the downbeat, beat as repetitive as a hung jury when another black gets lynched. They tap shoes to Emmett's blues, a rhapsody of police brutality. They love our bars more when we're behind them. Our bodies suspended in motion send them swinging. Black boys, b-boys, break dance and become running men. Can't quick step those attempting to tango and tangle. Bodies now swaying to the tune of strange fruit. The hook catches them every time. Our black swans broken, bent necks as though taking a bow. Encore.
Hello, my name is Lou Barrett, and this is a poem about home. Home was heavy and cold, like drinking Monster energy drinks, smoking cool menthol wides on special occasions, Newports daily. Home was smelly hair fried and dyed, curdled milk left in cereal bowls barely touched. Home was old men just trying to be nice, saying yes out loud, whispering no inside. Home was good sex, mediocre sex. Home was helping my body relearn to like sex. Home was objectifying myself. My body was ass and tits before it was shelter. I found solace in the corner of my right eye, that pole near the closet, on the gray piece of fuzz on the carpet. Home became living naked, watching pizza sauce land on my chest, letting myself be messy, letting my body slouch. I don't have to arch my back when no one is looking. At home, I get to be ugly. Home was finding my first love, who was really my 5th or 6th love. Finally, I found my equal. Home was chamomile tea, making slow minds of people who think too fast and have fast sex, fast love, fast heartbreak. Home was cold fingers, tapping phone screens, tapping me, wagging at me for having accidents inside the house instead of outside, in private, alone. Home made me crazy. Learned love can be ugly and spoil like curdled milk from uneaten cereal. Home was a photo of us cut down the middle, separated by a piece of string. I said I'm sorry for my part to the smell of apple pie. That artificial candle helped us end things as sweet as you on those early snowy days. We never quite managed to feel safe around each other, but I rest knowing we found that in other people. Home was projecting onto others what I don't want to see. Not gay enough for gay friends, not straight enough for gay lovers. Home was carrying others' pain and making their issues about me. I am not your ex-girlfriend, your mother, or your sister, but really, in some ways, I am all three. I am the therapist you get to penetrate. Home was facing my own issues. Resolution is a myth I let go, and sometimes I don't get my way because the world does not revolve around me. I have to share it with other people, including my partners who have feelings too. Eventually, home got lighter. Home became peeing in the woods, feet on the ground, following your lead before pushing forward myself, walking through the woods in the creek, home, coming home to the earth and God. Flour sifting through my fingers, cooking 5-hour duck, making 10-hour lemonade, freeing myself from the 8-hour workday and shitty bosses, coming home, reconciling home before leaving. The coffee shops, apartments, friends, lovers, schools, joys, sadness. Home doesn't really go away, just becomes hard for others to see, only noticeable in messy rooms, bowls of old curdled milk, insistence on sleeping on the right side of the bed, saying, you can pick the next song, just listen to this one first. Home is what happens when our souls meet, laying chest to chest. You get up and I say, wait, stay. Home is me. So I'm never really leaving, just always going home. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo.
Ode to Daniel's ass, for it is a constellation, Cassiopeia with extra emphasis on the ass. My ass is a galaxy, is out of this world, a pair of celestial globes, is the part of the hymn where Big Sean invokes its name 21 times in the chorus. Doesn't need a slam score to know it's a 10, a dime, a well-rounded individual. Couldn't give a rat's ass even if it wanted to. Is so good, it's like endless shrimp at Red Lobster, except when the server comes by to take your order, you're like, hi, yes, hello, can I get the all-you-can-eat ass? For my salad, I'd like it tossed, and I like to start off with the shrimp fettuccine ass Fredo and the assed potatoes and when it comes out, you're like, is this what forgiveness tastes like? And then I poke my head out from under the table, and I'm like, no, it's just ass. But in case you were wondering, my ass does taste like ass, or forgiveness, hope, joy, devotion. Got one cheek named birthday and the other one Christmas. All asses are good asses, not a single one on the naughty list this year except mine. My ass is the gift that keeps on giving, is the reason for the season. The following is a list of classic holiday songs. Silent Ass, Oh Holy Ass, All I Want for Christmas is Ass, White Assmas, and speaking of ass, some of y'all are looking at me like, that's gay, bro, or ew, I don't eat ass. Shut up, Phil. Yes, you do. And if you don't, then you should know ass doesn't taste weird so long as it's clean. Like, ass just sort of tastes like ass. And in case you thought this poem was about trauma or body positivity or some other important social issue, it's not. Sorry to disappoint you, Phil. Nope. Just ass. The whole ass. And nothing but the ass. Ass so fat it broke the fourth wall. Started addressing the audience. Became a whole ass poem on its own. My twin's big like Tia Tamara. I got a big booty, so I call it Big Booty. When I wrote this poem, I changed the font to ass. And even though Microsoft changed it to Cambria, like the font, like in the fucking little font bar, it actually still said ass, which was good enough for me, because like, God, if I am ever good enough to make it into heaven, do you think my ass will be as holy as all of the love I have always given it? Always too much for the jeans, but always enough to love me back when I slip them on. Just like that one time I featured at a poetry slam the day after Valentine's Day, and I saw my ass was used to promote the event, and I was like really happy about it, because like, who doesn't want to see their ass on the day that is given to the one after love, and to know that that's mine, to say you, yes you, I do, I do, I do.
There's been a lot of different theories on how the world will end because of some man-made catastrophe. Nukes, climate change, coronavirus. But personally, I don't like the sound of those. I think they're all too predictable. If I had to write the end of the world, I'd have a curious black child running their thumb across the horizon until they found the edge of a smooth strip of tape, and they'd start scraping at it with their nail until it peeled away, and there'd be nothing holding the earth to the sky anymore, and the world would just peel back like the top of a convertible. No flames, no sickness, nothing nefarious, just a collapse.
I'm here today to share my story, to be for someone else the light I needed when I was younger. For suicidal kids whose bodies have become the caskets that were always out of reach. For incomplete suicides, charcoal pumped stomachs, razor blade scarred bodies, and carousel horse hearts, racing to a finish line that never comes. This one's for us. By the time I was 16, I had already told myself I wouldn't live long enough to graduate college. It's been years since I walked across the stage and accepted my diploma, and yet I still can't shake off how out of place I feel in all this alive. I'm 1,700 miles and over 7 years away from the monsters in my bed, but I've still got their scratch marks on my closet floor. Every morning when I get dressed, I'm scared they will drag me in with them. Strip off this skin, leave me bare-boned and bleeding, bury me under the floorboards of my own anxiety. I know they can't hurt me anymore, but I don't know if there's anything left in me to hurt. I know milk sours to clumps. Contact solution can cause ulcers and blindness. But what happens when a person lives past their expiration date? I know I'm not the only one. I know there are more out there like me. Suicidal kids turn trauma too far in the past to justify being suicidal now adults. As if grieving loss has a time limit. As if the most intimate of betrayals needs to be forgiven when the statute of limitation runs out. Are these the kinds of things we ever really get over? Or do we just get better at pretending they never happened? Become experts in the craft of avoidance? Carry socially acceptable excuses on the tip of our tongues when people ask about our scars? Make a home in our throat for our best? I'm just really tired this week. My contacts are acting up. You know, I'd love to come out, but I have so much to do. Don't get me wrong. It's not like most days are bad. It's just that a lot of days are not good. It always feels like something is missing, like healing keeps slipping through my fingers. I'm 25 now. I work with kids who feel more lithium than teenager. Kids with warning labels etched into their battery packs because some batteries are known to explode when their time is up. I work with kids who sound a lot like I did, who live a lot like I did. They tell me they're happy I'm alive. And they don't know that there were days I almost wasn't. They make me believe that maybe I wasn't meant to leave. Maybe I'm not as flammable as I thought. Not an explosion waiting to happen, maybe. Survivors are the rechargeable batteries of souls. The ones meant to stay. Stay useful. Stay safe. The life of a rechargeable battery depends on how well you care for it. And we just need a safe place to rest while we get our strength back. Who knows better than us the comfort a night light can hold? The importance of power. We continue to fill ourselves up so we can shed light on others. So we can wake up another day, be a light in someone else's darkness. A reminder that the monsters don't always win. They do not get to take it all. There is a light at the end of this, even if we have to make it for ourselves. Thank you.
Not nigger, or its pretty little sister nigga. Not the lynching or the burning. Not the chains or boats or lies of trade, no charred wood shaped of Jesus's final human day, the men in ghost robes stealing a soul they do not own, no religion force-fed and fat with, not the riots and Molotov, not the burned and buried girls, not the so much fire to see if black would soot darker, nor the preacher, the propaganda, the literature in which black men are ravenous, rabid primates, black women oversexed Coke bottle broad-nosed whores, not the immigrants taught we had tails, not their fresh fear, not the laws that turn blackness off with the sunlight, fear of our invisibility in the dark, not the gods we lost, not the one that claims us as his adopted children, chosen or not. It isn't even in my broken heart. It isn't the theft of cool, not even the theft of Billie Holiday's throat and diaphragm, nor Sarah Bartman's thighs or labia lips. It isn't the crash, the economy, the blame, the fear, sliced by the song of the blackbird singing on a white power line, nor the bald bird mourning song of unity. It isn't the pride or shame, not the death, 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 and the laws that make it sacred and correct, not the held down and forced, the unintelligible cries of millions in the abyss of what was named heaven and a goal. It isn't my mother's crooked hands, nor the work that earned them, nor her mother's crooked back and the earth that earned her back, not the renaming of every beautiful thought, the scribbling our names off our work and putting your heroes, the spitting on the girl in the school too bleached for her soil-colored body to stain. It was never Little Rock, you have to believe me. Not the wars on drugs or poverty interchangeably. It wasn't the dirt disco is buried beneath, nor the funk that hip-hop rose out of, or the darkened hands that yanked it from its mother's canal. It isn't even the crack era. It isn't the weakest of us conquering the most divinely connected to the skin of this planet. It is not the history. The history is the soil. It is everything that grows. All of us. And everything we do is touched by racism. Every tiny breath has a color. Every blessed step has a shade. Every beat of the blood has a hue. It is everything. It is in everything. It is everywhere. It is the inescapable as God presence that as long as human beings wear skin and thoughts, it will forever rest in us. It is even in love. Love conquered all, and white supremacy conquered love. Now we have nothing left. Nothing except hope.
Well, hello, everybody. Come on in. I know. You probably heard all the stories about old man patriarchy. They're just lies. Told by suffragists, #SJWs. No. I assure you I am as harmless as an estranged grandfather at Thanksgiving dinner. Lots of folks don't like old man patriarchy, but I like you. #not all patriarchies. Oh, see how current I am, how I evolve, how I am still here. I like all the fellas and 70 cents on the dollar like all the ladies. Oh no, that's a joke. Wage inequality is a lie. Oh, but some of it is true. I mean, I like watching the sports. Young bodies crashing together like clapping hands. They work so hard. Yeah, really earn that benefit of the doubt. #Brock Turner. I just wish they wouldn't post all them party pictures to the interwebs. You draw a curtain across a window for a reason. No need to see all that chicanery. Let me mansplain something to you. Boys will be boys, and boys become men. Men with jobs in the math and sciences, making video games for each other. #Gamergate. Something manly and violent that sticks in your milk teeth like gristle. Yeah. I like this new world order, this silk shadow of the internet. Even old man patriarchy can seem so much bigger and stronger and scarier behind a keyboard. #Gamergate. Why, who'll be afraid of me if they could see me as I really am? Take my threats seriously. Laugh at my rape jokes if they could see the shrivel of my spine and the gaps in my smile. Who'd feel the weight of fear press against their chests like the deep end of the pool? I mean, look at me. If they could see how delicate I really am, how close to death. #masculinity so fragile.
Listen!
The loss of power is almost like mourning. But trust me, I mean, come on in. I'm so friendly, familiar. And after all, yeah, aren't I all you've ever really known?
What? Listen!
"2337 West Monroe Street. Goddamn pigs raided my apartment and murdered me. But I am revolutionary. Pigs may have shot me in my head, but one thing for sure is I ain't dead. I live through my people, my black people. You hear what I said? I was ready, with a .45 automatic in my left and a shotgun in my right. Y'all thought I wasn't gonna protect my people? Unborn son and wife? Y'all thought I wasn't gonna protect my people? How dare you pigs come busting in my door? What? Y'all was worried it was gonna be a United States versus Black Panther war? You're 118 to our divine 9? You motherfuckers had to sneak up on me when I was asleep? All cause y'all was scared of our rainbow coalition? Scared it was getting too big and moving too deep? And why did y'all have to kill my brother Mark Clark? What did he do? Except search the entire Chicago for a damn building and start our breakfast program for our children. Fucking pigs will never see us equal. We walk through the valley of the shadow of death every day and feared no evil. We were too strong, too lethal. All power to my people. Fuck those pigs and their ugly bald ass eagle. We the Black Panther Party. It's about to be a motherfucking upheaval. Arrested me over some damn ice cream. Now that should be fucking illegal. 2350 West Madison Street. We brought that heat. That rising up angry Tango Puerto Rico and Mi Corazon heat. That may the young lords bless your soul heat. That salute our young patriots heat. That Robert F. Williams Negroes with guns heat. That Chicago, Illinois Black Panther ain't no chapter moving like we moving heat. That 10-point program, Huey P. Newton may be in jail, but we ain't backing down until we prevail heat. See, the pigs heard the word revolution and got scared, you see. Wasn't nothing violent about our revolution. You see, it was educating, and we controlled our own funds. You see, we had guns because they had guns. You see, we was shooting because they was shooting. You see, do not be fooled, my sisters and brothers. Pigs come in all shapes and colors. I said, do not be fooled, my sisters and brothers. They want us to kill each other. Through their corrupted, capitalistic systems designed for our suffer, causing drama in our communities so we come against one another, so they can justify more pigs on the street to kill our fathers and brothers. They hated my non-aggression pact because it brought street gangs together. William O'Neill was my trusted brother. The damn FBI got him to turn against me, undercover. See how they counter our intelligence with elegance? See how they play on our freedom and intellect? They tap on our wires and phone lines, then scream crime and violence to our guns and picket signs. All power to the people. All power to my black people. They drugged me, but I was already high. That love for my black people high. That they could never divide the pride that subsides within high. That James Brown, say it loud. High. That no matter how hard they try, I will never die. Power to the people has not become a reality. You see?
Thank you all for coming out tonight for this staged reading. You all look so beautiful, LA. Now, for those new to this, we're going to explain it in just a moment because we really think we have a winner on our hands with this one. A libretto is the reading of the text of an opera, including all stage direction. So without any further ado, we present to you the libretto of the opera, Death of a Black Boy. Curtains open. Sun rises on Anywhere, USA. Small kitchen with mother at stove. We never see her face. The black boy sits at table eating soft piano. The mother sings a song, how lucky might I have a boy such as this. Violins giggle, cellos chuckle. The black boy sings a song, I'm gonna get us out of here one day. Enter father. Director's note, the part of father has been canceled. Replace father with empty notes from Widowing section. Widowing section plays the song Absence, Act 1, Enter Mother's Boyfriend. Director's note, the title of Boyfriend shall be replaced with temporary or fill-in regardless of instrument backing. Boyfriend sings the song, Bitch, where's my breakfast? Why you feeding him first when I'm the one helping with these bills? Director's note, opts to replace this song with Give Me Your Car Keys. Boy leaves. Piano 1 and 2 begin walking music. Concrete be played by strings. Percussion performs song Broken Glass Everywhere. Act 2. The black boy tries to make it to school alive. The black boy walks through his neighborhood. Cue homeless men. Cue daytime hookers. Cue drug dealers. Drug dealers sing song I Got a Job for You. Blaring car horns by trumpet. Section 1, all instruments stop. Cue single snare drum. The black boy enters school. Walls sing the song Insecurity. Lockers perform Inferiority Complex. Teachers sing Overworked and Underpaid. Career counselor sings Your Literacy 20, so I discuss job opportunities. Principal sings I Touch a Child in an Inappropriate Manner. School board sings Keep the student to teacher ratio high enough for federal funding, and if shit is a fan, fire some teachers. School desks perform Medley, Get them asses in the seats. Students perform All in All, Just Another Brick in the Wall, Act 3. The black boy goes home. Cue timpani for gunshots. Next section is simultaneous. Stage left, mother sings When My Son Make It Home Today. Stage right, father sings I'll Do Better Tomorrow. Upstage, boyfriend sings When Did I Stop Caring. Homeless man sings I Used to Live Around Here. Hooker sings Anyone See My Babies. Drug dealer sings If You Don't Give a Damn, We Don't Give a Fuck. Apartment building sings Don't Make My Brown Eyes Blue. Cue police officer. Cue neighborhood watch vigilante. Cue Stand Your Ground. Black boy sings song Sun in the Sky, Wallet in my ground, bullet in the back. Sandwich in my hand, bullet in the face. Cell phone in my hand, bullet in my head. Skittles in my hand, iced tea in the blood. Social sweet in my hand, college bound in the wind. Enter 100 police officers singing Bad Moon Rising. Enter Fox News singing Pleased to Meet You. Hope you guess my name. Cue 1,000 bullets singing Dead Men Can't Be Witnesses. Keep snare, add a bass drum, upright bass to bow, off key piano, all of them down, cymbals crash, hard as yes, and stop! Violins and cellos hum of a million bees whispering, single street like center stage on Black Boy, sopranos sing and the blood came a trembling down, cue Alan Jesse, tenor sing Too Much, Too Little, Too Late, light fades to black on Black Boy as moon sings Change Gon' Come, the end. Director's note. If we do this right, we can bring this opera back every week around the country and they won't even notice. Tell the producers, we've got a hit on our hands.
Everything my brain knows it learned from drag. 1. What's the most acceptable face I can wear tonight? Or what is the opposite of that? Highlight the cheekbone, highlight the bridge of the nose, the bright and the beautiful, the parts pretty for pictures, hide the rest, the sharp, the visible flaw, contour and shadow away, the sad, the grief, the parts of the body unfit for the public eye, or maybe the ones you just want to transform. Tighten, train the waist, thread the hips through a needle's eye, and sew the self-hatred into sequins. Look, I spent an adolescence corseting myself via the bathroom scale, no dinner, run the extra mile, depression, anorexia, skinny legend. 2. If nothing else, at least the performance. Get the money, snatch the bills, how I've seen dollars fly out of my own hands for the kind of life that takes investment. The doctors, the therapists, the pills, the cost of staying alive with a sick brain. Turn the party, girl. And trust me, I know the drill. Maybe just lip sync. Not everyone came out here to listen to what you have to say, and that's okay. They might just be looking for a good time. Just try mouthing along to something that could actually make a room full of strangers feel happy and safe. Maybe something they can dance to. They might be trying to forget the daylight too, you know. Turn the party, girl. Dance, twirl, vogue, pose, 8 count, work the stage, bend over backwards just to get through the night, the month, the appointment, the song, and memorize your routine. The milligrams, eat, shower, therapy, exercise, pills, spread yourself thin, feel the brain split and crash to the floor, dip, drop, trust, fall, unsure where you'll land, but... Three. Still, even in the darkest and dingiest basements and back rooms and corners of the club, of the mind, of the screaming city, still, this drag, this potential for joy. Find the words, sad little queer boy, the productive way to laugh at fear and death and yourself. This protest, this church. See what small sources of love and dance and community and expression can work to shake you from the sadness, finding acceptance as you are or as something else. Bless the smoke machine and the smoky eye. Bless the genderless smile. Bless the dance in the strobe light. Every beat, every move, one step closer to morning. One step closer to a brain and a body worthy of a room, worthy of a cheer, worthy of love.
Unidentified, as we tap into your inner mind. Up the charts, yeah, we finna climb. Name an artist with an iller vibe. You been ill-advised, now you know about to kill it right. Unidentified, as we tap into your inner mind. Up the charts, yeah, we finna climb. Name an artist with an iller vibe. You been ill-advised, now you know we about to kill it right. Undetected by radar, sent from a quasar, no thermal image. Sonically advanced, lyrically augmented to put you in a trance. No matter what's trending, you gon' think of dance as we remain authentic and keep you hanging on to every sentence. Just so you can witness a bridge in the gap between new and vintage. That's not too pretentious. A work of art painted from 2 dimensions. Back on the market, pursue relentless. Tucked away, been drugged through the trenches. Distant life, that's a different type. That's the difference. A mystic vibration, the algorithm from the motherland. Soon as the volume hit 'em. Unidentified, as we tap into your inner mind. Up the charts, yeah, we finna climb. Name an artist with an iller vibe. You been ill-advised, now you know we about to kill it, right? I bet you ain't see this coming. I bet you ain't see, I bet you ain't see, I bet you ain't see this coming. You can't box me, they can't box we.
Something you have never seen or even understand. Something cosmically and possibly outside the reach of man. Something coming from a place of stories never to be told. Something unidentified but reaches down into your soul. Now this is where we break into the fold. Unadulterated. Make sure that you keep up with the flow. Underestimated. You might miss the part when we explode. Undercalculated. So much heat it gets out of control. Overdilated. Now you ain't gotta move if you don't want to. But something about the way we moving that just might haunt you. The speakers blowing, energy flowing as we come through. Bringing you the illest and realest like we supposed to. You couldn't stop it if you wanted to. Carbon copies flattering me is all that you're gonna do. Cause this is so original, your temperature run cold. Unidentified, I'm just playing with your mental. Begging for us to let up, but the answer is no. Someone should tell them it don't stop until I say so. It's undeniable, lyrically unreplyable. Your flow is unreliable, seemingly unsuppliable.
Unidentified, as we tap into your inner mind. Up the charts, yeah, we finna climb. Name an artist with an iller vibe. You been ill-advised, now you know about to kill it right. Unidentified, as we tap into your inner mind. Up the charts, yeah, we finna climb. Name an artist with an iller vibe. You been ill-advised, now you know we about to kill it right. I bet you ain't see this coming. I bet you ain't see, I bet you ain't see, I bet you ain't see this coming. You can't box me, they can't box we.